The program is this morning on ITV. It's time now to look at the forthcoming area council election in the FCT, where Abaji, Kwali, Gwagwalada, Buhari, Amak and Kuje will be out at the weekend to actually vote for candidates of their choice. And so to do this, I have with me a political analyst and he's also a politician, Hassan Sardana. Very good morning and welcome.
Good morning, my comrade.
Yeah, so the election is just 5 days away. The one thing that people would keep talking about is that democracy is a game of number.
Yeah.
People are expected to come out and cast their vote.
Yeah.
But what people don't know is that if you fault the process, you know, and say this process will not come out well, even if I cast my vote, I'm not. So there's no need for me to go out and vote. They don't know that they have voted. So what can we do to ensure that there's no voter apathy?
Thank you for having me this early morning. And the most important part of it, or the most important thing here, is that the populace must know that FCT election is quite different with any election in the Federation.
Why is
FCT elections, there is a lot of fairness, mutual understanding. Beyond, there is coexistence in the in understanding. There is this peaceful coexistence that has been in existence for a quite long time here in FCT. I can assure you that since for the past 2 months, I think, when they lifted the ban on campaign, there is no single place where you had that APC, PDP had a kind of clash. So that is telling you that the level and the thinking of FCT residents in Abuja is quite different with others places or other states in the country. So I want to assure and call the attention of the voters or the electorate in FCT. They should come en masse. They should come out in full force. They should come out in number to make sure that they have cast their vote and their vote will going to be counted. I assure you that. I can just testify just recently what happened in 2019. The sitting president lost in FCT. The sitting senator from FCT is from PDP. The sitting House of Rep is from PDP. That is the both two sides. That is the southern FCT and the northern FCT. Buhari Amak is belong to Honorable Mika Waijiba, and the other one is that is representing Kuje Gwagwalada, Abaji, and Kwali Area Council. It's also PDP. So to behold, I'm assuring you that what I realize and what my findings have shown, that there will going to be a free, fair election in FCT, that it is hitch-free from any violence. I assure you this, because if such type of a thing will happen just recently in 2019, where a sitting president will lose all his senators, his house reps, and there was no any rancor, there was no any crisis, even an ant was not killed, then why should it be different from the area council election? So I want to tell you that what is happening in FCT, there is a sense of maturity. I cannot say no, there should be a kind of lapses that normally happen in any election. Even in US, you have seen what happened in the last election between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. There was a kind of misunderstanding, but that doesn't mean they will not go ahead and forge. And that was why they are US, and they have sworn in the new president, and he's there almost 1 year now.
Okay, now, it's one thing for you to tell people come out and vote.
Yeah.
It's another thing for them to go to the polling unit and meet with the process, ready to have them to, for accreditation as well as voting. There are times that you go to a polling unit during elections and the materials are not there. What can be done?
That is very real in FCT. I am not saying it will not happen. Maybe out of 100%.
I have covered and have seen it.
I don't know where you covered, but the fact remains. I am not saying in any election in the world, it is not 100% accurate, but people do their best. Wherever you have gotten up to 70%, even if in the class of examination, you have gotten an excellent. But I am assuring you that in FCT, if there will going to be something like that, then it will not be, it will be very minimal to the 0 decimal point, whereby everybody will feel carried along. I am not telling you that people will not go, complain. If you are even backing somebody in your back, he has a right to say no. Your wife, who you just call, if she has a daughter or a son that she's backing, he will just decide to start crying. She has to carry him out of her back and start pitying him, because that is human nature. Talk less of a process that involves money, involves logistics, involves energy, involves security, involves a lot of risks and whatever. So some people must try to misbehave. And I can tell you, it is only in our country that we don't try to play things the way they are. Even if somebody have done something, almost to 90%, you will still fault it as just because of that 10%. You want that person to be addressed as a person who failed the process. So if with this, I am assuring you that even if you have once saw it, I just cited an example with the just recent past presidential election and House of Reps Senate in FCT. They are there. So if a sitting government can lose all the seats in that in FCT without having any rancor, I am still repeating that in FCT area council election, there will be just an egalitarianism in terms of election forthcoming 5 days to come.
What do you want to see in terms of policing? You want to see armed policemen very close to the polling unit or far from the polling unit? You want to see, security personnel at the polling unit, orderly and talking to voters, with some level of courtesy? What do you want to see? Okay.
Definitely, if you are entering an election like this, you are assuming there will be monitors. It's either NGOs, though some are from INEC, some are even international bodies, observers, who will going to monitor these elections, and I believe they have been seeing it in FCT. I am talking more of FCT because I believe that I have been in FCT casting votes for almost 27 years. So what am I trying? Since during the, what they call it, UNDP Abacha era, I have been voting in FCT. So what am I trying to say in a nutshell here is this. Normally, security agencies' presence must be there. But we are not, in FCC, we doesn't allow security to mix up, that is, to try and, what do we call it, to take a part. That means they are bending towards some certain people who will going to maybe rig or who will feel being favored by them. We don't do that. I told you that ideally you once can reason. If somebody can lose election like a president or a senator from a candidate from APC or a House of Reps from APC to their opponent, that is PDP, I believe you can still believe me that the job that the security agencies are doing is very fair and just, and I believe they will going to repeat that behavior or that professionalism, because it's an act of showing professionalism to conduct people in a manner whereby they will not feel being threatened, they will not feel being intimidated, they will not feel being cornered by some people who feel they can say yes and yes. Gone the days where we are having such things. Even in some states, they have stopped having such a volatile situation of voting. No, you are expecting everybody to come and trying to, you understand what I'm saying, play the games of I must win the election. But at the end of the day, there must be a loser. It is to deal with two things, either a vanquished or the victor.
Yeah, for the security agent that definitely will be at the polling unit.
Yes.
How can we, ensure that they deal with, the current trend of vote buying? Can we have security operatives at the election centers, polling unit, and they do their job diligently without, conniving with other political parties. They say, okay, yes, let me watch for you. That man actually voted for you. That woman did not, so don't pay that one. This one, we have seen such connivance. They are the ones,
but not in
allegedly,
but not in
standing in the gap to give signals to, party agents to pay those that actually voted for them.
For your information, since 1999, I have been playing a role of an observer in election. Within FCT and the other state in Nigeria. But I can assure you there was never a time when I got it right and felt being contented with the way election is going on or has been going on like FCT. And we are not saying the police or the security agencies will not going to play a role within some of the few and acts of indiscipline among them. It is normal, we are human. We are expecting to have a positive and negative. But whenever we are talking about having the major, that is the majority, to take the day. And if once a majority will going to take the day, then the minority is nowhere to be counted. And what am I trying to say here is that so long we will going to have the excellence, that is the very good commendation of the security in trying to make put things in order. Those who feel undesirable element among them that will go and try to enrich by themselves for having a cup of tea of 1 naira, 2 naira for just 20.
But can we not give target to security agent and say in this election we want to see you arrest at least XY number of those buying votes?
For your information, I can assure you, if people like the Dent, Bunu, Sharif, Abba Gana, people like Mala Nasur El-Rufai, Alero, people like, what is his name, Aliu Modibo, people like Balak Aura, cannot able to intimidate anybody, being them more deep in politics, compared with the present minister, who has have an I don't care attitude of, that is, involving himself in anything.
I know he involved himself in peace and security of the state, of the city.
What am I trying to say is that he doesn't try to, what they call it, encourage anything that is
he has zero tolerance for
anything evil. So he is a man of integrity. I respect him in some certain things. Let me tell you, I was watching him when he was announcing the mandate secretary and some of his special advisors. The person he gave as a special advisor to him on youth matters, he is not a APC card-carrying member. He is a PDP card-carrying member. He mobilized people to protest against the minister. But when he realized that the young man is have a reason why he is doing what he is doing, on the very solemn day of those very people, he pointed especially to the young man that, look, we know what you are doing, but we brought you here to do the right thing. Where we went wrong, you are now in the system. You can amend it. Do you know? Don't you see somebody who has done that? He is upright to be a very honest person and sincere in trying to putting things in order, especially in FCT as a minister. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So you have not really cleared how we can have vote buying.
Vote buying
Tackled.
We will go to tackle vote buying.
How?
And I believe, as an observer and a person who has been having an opportunity to be discussing with the people at the hem affairs of elections in one way or the other, and I'm not the only one. We are very many that have this mindset, like minds of going against vote buying or anything to do with insincerity of election. We will go to target that. We have put a lot of monitors, whereby if anything is going, we have put what do we call a situations room within our understanding. If something is going on there and then, we will going to have it, and the person in question will going to be arrested, and he will going to face the consequences of the laws of the day. I assure you this thing will going to happen. We are not government, but based on what we have planned,
as an observer,
we will going to do that. And the government are giving on 101 even percent of support, and the agencies have already agreed that this thing must have to be dealt with, because it is in a millennial age like this, we should stop behaving like a people of maybe 100 years back. So this is it on the ground. I believe it will going to be done, and we are ready to do it.
You know, in the FCT there are difficult terrains.
Yes.
Areas where the transportation is not too friendly.
Yes.
And at times it delays the collation of the results. Can we have an electronic transfer of result from such, difficult areas, so that?
And when you call it a difficult area, there is tendency that they don't have even a very good network. And if there is no network, how can you transmit it to an electronic something?
Yeah, the system can work that out.
No, I heard what the INEC chairman have said, and most of the
difficulty is with the road. The road network is bad.
About of road network.
Yes.
They made mention that about 30% of the Nigerian places where election is going to be is taking place. There is no network, and there will be no way as of now how you can transmit election through electronics process. So for that reason, FCT is not far from that. It is also having these things that we are talking about. I assure you, you know more than me as a journalist. But since this is what we need, it's not about only having a electronic. With the electronic, what happened in US, their last election, during Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, with the last election between the Donald Trump and the Joe Biden, it is the same hilarious that happened with their own age of democracy over almost 200 to 300 years. Still, there is a problem, inconsistencies in election. What we are trying to say is that we should have a mindset, and at the same time moving to a like minds of people who need to change Nigeria to a better country, to a better nation, a country that can beat chest and be proud of itself and the citizens of the country. Not a situation whereby everybody is trying to pinpoint a fault or a failure of each other. We must have to come together and reorganize ourselves, that we need a better Nigeria. We were small boys when Ghanaians haven't a change, and the change has put them to a situation or a position whereby you must admire them within their own level. But up to now, we are having such problems. In Nigeria, a country that has, we call the giant of Africa. You understand what I'm saying? So what we need is that the mindset of each and every citizen, I and you, he and she, each and every of us, should think very positive to yield a result that we will going to provide and produce a better future for Nigeria. And that is the only result or way that we're going to tackle this. But in any insincerity within us, we are not moving. We will not get the result. We will not achieve our aims. And remember that he who does what he wants, how he wants, when he wants, he ends without achieving a goals. And we must be a people that must achieve a goals. Either these who are against us agree or they does not agree, we must go there. We must reach a promised land, because the world of today is not the same of the world that we have yesterday and day before yesterday.
So, what is your word to FCT resident as we prepare to,
I was lucky.
excuse me.
Yes.
As we prepare for the election come Saturday.
Thank you very much. I was watching one online TV yesterday. So I saw one of the candidates who went to attend a dinner for this Minister of Transportation. He was telling the minister that, look, those who are not natives or those who are residents in FCT, please come out en mass. Don't be a tenant in where you are residing. You are already a landlord. So don't try to be just a tenant. A tenant means that a right that you're supposed to protect, a right that the Constitution has given you, come out and exercise that very right. I am telling you that we have done a lot of sensitization and mobilizing the public to realize that election in the level of local government council, it is very important to the society, because these are the people that are very close to us. We need to have people that are hearing, that will listen to us, those who are seeing, those who can talk, those who can act within their what they call it, a level. But when we allowed some people to come out who cannot spell out the meaning of their names, who cannot spell out the meaning of politics, who are there in the politics just to be or to wear new clothes or change cars or marry add more wives, then we are just wasting.
Do we have such people?
Are there? We don't have them.
You know
we
them?
have them. I don't want to say it in the
do you know them?
Why not? Do you know them even?
No.
Because I know those who are claiming now that they need more even polling unit in their family house because he has gotten the 29th child.
Who is he?
I don't know. But I know something like that is going in Nigeria. So for your information as a journalist, you can say it more than me.
Okay. Thank you very much, Madam Hassan, Comrade Hassan. Professor Hassan Sardauna, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me, comrade.
Okay, this is the much we have with Hassan Sardauna, looking at the FCT Area Council election. That is just by the corner. 5 days left for that. Okay, that's the much we have. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, it will be our concluding remarks.